Limerick Premier Minor Hurling Championship final between holders Garryspillane and a very exciting Patrickswell team. I'm joined as usual in the commentary box by Matt O'Callaghan of the Weekly Observer Vale Star. Matt, you flagged it on social media earlier today. It has the potential to be one of the games of the Limerick Club Championship at any level.
Yeah, it has. Certainly it has that, John, because, and of course it's worth noting that it's the last club hurling game of the year in the county, which I suppose is fair credit to everybody that's involved, seeing of Limerick's protracted involvement in the senior championship and prolonged involvement in the Munster Minor Championship. So we're here, and it has the potential to round off the season on a very, very high note, because these two sides have met twice already. They met in the group stages. It finished level, and they finished level at the top of their group, and they had to play off for 4, and it finished level again. So it came down to the toss of a coin for Patrickswell to go through as winners from that group, and Garryspillane as runners up, and Patrickswell went on and Piercing in the semi-final, and Garryspillane were involved in a rematch of last year's final with Mungret St. Paul's, who they needed extra time on this occasion to beat, but beat them. They did, to set up what all the prospects and all the lead into this game would suggest that we're in for a cracking evening of hurling.
We are indeed, Matt. Just to talk of a couple of players and one from either team. You've Dylan O'Shea from Garryspillane, scored 14 points in that semi-final victory, albeit extra time, against Mungret St. Paul's. And of course you've Jason Gillan, younger brother of Aaron, more than likely taking the frees like Dylan O'Shea will be for Garryspillane. Two top quality prospects. Yeah,
but it's just those two. It's not just those two, John. If you actually look at the respective sides and big names, they hit you straight. Mark Quinlan is going for his third county medal in a fortnight. He played the full game with Garryspillane in the Premier Intermediate final, played the full game with Galway here a week ago in the Intermediate football final. You've Brian Heavey there at wing back. He is the Limerick Minor goalkeeper this year. Ryan Tobin, a Limerick Minor last year, an All-Ireland medal winner with John the Baptist. Ona Mahoney, one of the stars of the Limerick Minor team this year. You've Dylan O'Shea, as you flagged, a scoring machine. And of course, you've Callum Sheehan, who lit up this year's Premier Under-21 final Premier Intermediate final when he scored 2 goals and a point. Now, if you cross over to the other side and look at Patrickswell, you've Patrick Kirby, son of Gary, absolutely rich hurling pedigree, man that was involved with Limerick Minors this year. And take the half forward line, and off air you just mentioned it, John. You're looking at Jason Gillan, like his brother Aaron. You've Josh Considine, star with Ardscoil Reach, and certainly has fitted very well into the Patrickswell senior team, as you saw this year. And you have Clive Kirby, who got a run out with the seniors, albeit as a substitute in the quarter final here against South Liberties it was. And you have number 8, the man that will be wearing number 8 has certainly caught the eye this year, and that is Calvin Carroll. And you were here, John, we covered the county semi-final here. He scored 5 points from play in the county semi-final against Doon, which is testimony to what he is all about. And further back, if you look back in the full back line, you have Adam Carrick, who, although he didn't get a run out with the seniors, but he was a solid member and a regular member of the senior squad all year. So look, they're littered with big names on both sides, and it is no surprise when you see the pedigree that's here that there's nothing between them.
Quick check in the teams before John Paul Kiley throws in here of this Premier Minor Hurling final of the Limerick Championship. For Garryspillane, you've Adam Sheehan in goals, full back line of Robert Sampson, Kieran Sheehan, Michael O'Dwyer, half back line Brian Heavey, Mark Quinlan and Michael O'Donnell. Shane Hanrahan and Ryan Tobin line out at midfield, with Ona Mahoney, Dylan O'Shea and Peter Morrissey in the half forward line. Jack O'Reilly, Callum Sheehan and Peter Dwyer make up that Garryspillane team. We're underway here in the Gaelic rounds. We'll give you that Patrickswell team in a minute, as it's John Kirby who tried to launch that first attack for Patrickswell. Garryspillane clean up, the ball is given down to Jack O'Reilly. Maybe the perfect time to give the Patrickswell team as they look to work the ball out of the fence, and they do so. Paul Buston is in goals for Patrickswell, with Cian Fitzgerald, Adam Carrick and Owen Harmon in the full back line. Shane Hannon, Cian Enright and Gavin Carey make up the half back lines. Cormac Kearns gives in a long ball for Patrickswell. Go chance of an early goal. Here it is for the well. Straight off the bat, first delivery in, and Patrickswell have the opening score of this game. Goal to nil, and it looks like, Matt, it's the right half forward, and it's Jason Galland that has got it. Very reminiscent of his brother Aaron. We already mentioned it in commentary in our pre-game talk. He's already shown what he can do.
Yeah, it's like the older brother there, the ability to win those type of balls. And he certainly won it, but it was a great ball in the first place from Cormac Kearns, a great diagonal ball, who I think, even though he's named at full forward, appears to me to be playing out around the half forward line, but we'll do a quick check and we'll confirm that later. But he certainly picked it up there and he gave a great diagonal ball. But the way Jason Galland made it his own and made the space for him and finished it to the net, very good start for Patrickswell.
Superb start for Patrickswell as Calvin Carroll lines up this long range free, looking in to drop it around the 21 metre line. Garryspillane will come over just to finish off that Patrickswell team. Calvin Carroll's in midfield. He's joined by John Kirby. Jason Galland, Josh Considine and Clive Kirby make up the half forward lines. Patrickswell on the attack end. They're looking for another goal. Chances here now. This time it's snuffed out by Garryspillane. The ball is still in and around the Garryspillane square. It's Patrickswell had it, I think, there, but Garryspillane doing their best to stop Patrickswell getting another goal. They're going to come away with it through Brian Heavey. Heavey loses it, but he gets it up again. In fact, that's Kieran Sheehan. It's going to be a free out to finish that Patrickswell team, Matt. Before we go back to Matt O'Callaghan, it's Cian O'Gorman wearing number 13. Cormac Kearns, as we've already mentioned, full forward, and Patrick Kirby, son of Gary Kirby, at top at left. Matt, another chance for Patrickswell to get on the scoreline again.
Yeah, and it's some early worries there for Garryspillane. Patrickswell created the chance again. There seems to be a certain amount of uncertainty back there in these early stages in the Garryspillane full back line, and Patrickswell could very well have capitalised on it with a second goal.
Patrickswell in possession now with the losing Garryspillane on the attack, eventually winning the ball from Brian Heavey's long free. It's the well coming away with it though, and it's number 7 Gavin Carey still going with it, still showing his strength, but under good pressure from Garryspillane, who'll need a score quickly to settle them down. You'd have this, I think. Carey tries to get it away again as we see fireworks in the background here in the Gaelic grounds over by the Carl Evans side. Hopefully there'll be more fireworks on the field as Garryspillane come along again. It's Ryan Tobin on their own. Tobin leaves it off. He's going to get a free, and it's a perfect chance for Garryspillane to open their account from a free on this occasion, Matt, and it looks like it's going to be Dylan O'Shea that will take this one.
Yeah, it looks like it will be Dylan O'Shea, and certainly if Dylan wanted a free, it's this kind of free to get him off the mark, because without wanting to put the commentators' curse on him, it's so much within his range, and I will be surprised if Dylan O'Shea doesn't put this over the bar. But I was saying to you there a while ago that we were just checking, and it appears to me, no, Dylan O'Shea has put that ball over the bar, but it appears to me that both sides are actually lining out as selected, and it means that Cormac Kearns is inside full forward, but for some reason he was out in the half forward line there, and he was seen to great effect. He put it in where he should have been, but he obviously knew what was happening, that Jason Galland would be in there, and we know what the result was.
Could be applied that Patrickswell may use as time goes on as Jason Glenn is over on that right hand side. Back with play though, it's Garryspillane on the attack, long ball in, pushing it back by Callum Sheehan on his marker Adam Carey. That's going to be a free out to Patrickswell. Needless push, he was behind his man, but either way it's a free out for Patrickswell. They'll be in no rush. Matt, just a quick word on the conditions here. We're on Halloween's 31st of October. It's bitterly cold out on the surface in the Gaelic grounds today.
Yeah, it's bitterly cold in the precincts of the grounds when we're coming in. There's some danger here now for Patrickswell, but it looks as if Garryspillane have averted it this time. But the pitch looks in perfect condition. I wasn't down pitch side, but there is absolutely no breeze whatsoever. The flags and the tricolour and all, they're absolutely limp. You can see them, no movement whatsoever on the flags at ground level either. Conditions are pretty perfect for it, John.
It's backward play over on that far side. It's won by Jack O'Kelly, and the ball in here for Callum Sheehan. Sheehan unable to get it up in the first go. kind of lost a chance, a sniff of a goal chance maybe for Garryspillane. Patrickswell coming, it's a poor enough clearance. The ball falls to Peter Marcy. Marcy's shot isn't a good one. It's an easy catch for Paul Buston. And Buston launches one outside this wing, looking for Clive Kirby. Kirby being marked by Michael O'Donnell. O'Donnell now, Micheál O'Donnell gets his clearance away, and maybe a chance it just goes over the end line as Shane Hanrahan tried to keep it in play from Garryspillane. But we've a tight game, and it's going to be a sideline cut here that Cian Fitzgerald from Patrickswell will take. 5.5 minutes gone here in the Gaelic grounds in this Premier Minor Hurling final, brought to you live on Sporting Limerick. It's Garryspillane 1 point and Patrickswell lead with that early goal from Jason Glantz. A good sideline cut from Cian Fitzgerald, and Clive Kirby now looking to win possession. He can't get it first time, but manages to flick the ball away, and it should be Josh Considine's ball here. It is. Considine goes all the way back to John Carey. John Kirby, I should say. Superb pass from Kirby into the middle. It's going to be a shot here, and it's a good one. It's Jason Gillan once again, and that's 1-1 for Jason Gillan in 6 minutes, and a very well worked score from Patrickswell on that occasion, Matt.
I know it's early days, but Jason Gillan on that occasion seemed to have acres of space, and fair play to Patrickswell. The player picked him out and he applied the finish, and he had a bit of work to do, let's face it, and very, very good score. And the start so far has been certainly more encouraging for Patrickswell than it has from Garryspillane. Now Garryspillane are attacking dangerously here now.
It's Callum Sheehan with the ball. Goal chance for Callum Sheehan. Didn't get the shot away. Not a great shot away. It doesn't really matter for Garryspillane though. Hint of a goal chance once more, but referee John Paul Kiley has brought it back. Sheehan was fouled on his route to goal, and it's going to be another chance for Dylan O'Shea. Second free of the evening for him. And again, Matt, you called it. With his first free, it's one he'll expect to score. This one, a similar enough angle, but crucially closer into goal, and this should cut the gap to 2 points.
It should cut the gap to 2 points, and it's terribly important for Patrick's or for Garryspillane that it does, because certainly to a certain degree in the 7 or 8 minutes that we've played today, they are more or less on the hind foot. Dylan O'Shea obliged us, he sent it over the bar, but Garryspillane, serious damage hasn't been done insofar as that they're just 2 points behind.
No, they didn't give it yet. They haven't it up there, yeah.
On the attack with Jason Gillan, looking long ball in, looking for Cormac Kearns. Kearns can't win it. Ball still though here for Patrickswell. If they can get it in their hands, they can get it in their hands. A shot on goal, and it's Josh Considine with that shot on goal, operating at centre forward. That's another point for Patrickswell, and it's 1-2 to 2 points. With 8 minutes played of this Premier Minor Hurling final at the Gaelic grounds. It's going to be a poke out for Garryspillane. It's going to be Adam Sheehan to take. It's Sheehan. He goes long, straight down the middle. It's John Kirby looking at it. It's a brilliantly cat though by Dylan O'Shea. O'Shea on the run now. Dylan O'Shea looking for his third point of the evening. O'Shea off his left hand side, and that's a fantastic effort from Dylan O'Shea. And that's 3 points for Dylan O'Shea, Matt, and arguably the score of the game.
Yeah, no question about that. That's what we have come to expect from Dylan O'Shea. It appears to me now that Garryspillane have rang the changes already, and they have brought Dylan O'Shea out around midfield, and certainly you will certainly see more of him. But just on the scoreboard is suggesting it's 1-1 to 3 points. We reckon it should be possibly 1-2 to 3 points. But we certainly will have to check that.
It's a long-range effort from Josh Considine, this near sideline, the Gaelic grounds, the Mackey's hand side. This one had plenty on it, but tailed just to the right-hand side. We're going to have a bit of a break in play. There's a Garryspillane man down injured. And Matt, just on that, we have it as 1-2 to 3 points. The scoreboard, the Gaelic grounds, has a different score. We're going to stay with our own one at the moment, because Jason Gillan's point was certainly the one that wasn't credited, and that was straight over the bar. Half minutes played, the Garryspillane man is back up. Looks to have been Kieran Sheehan that was down. It's going to be a puck out anyway again for Adam Sheehan. It was Kieran Sheehan that was down injured briefly. And Garryspillane to restart with play. Straight down the middle again, maybe a bit over to this right hand side. Good pressure, and it's very well won there by John Kirby from Patrickswell's point of view. Kirby gets the hand pass away. It's not going to fall to one of his men. Josh Considine puts the pressure on, but Garryspillane still come away, and it's Mark Quinlan, as Matt O'Callaghan mentioned in her preamble. before throwing, looking for his third county title in the space of a few weeks. He won one with the Garryspillane Premier Intermediate team. He won one with Galway here at the Gaelic grounds last week. He tries to deliver this one in. It's a brilliant catch though on the full back line from Patrickswell, and it's blocked clearance though. And it's Garryspillane look to get possession here. It eventually comes to Callum Sheehan. Now Callum Sheehan on the run. He's a dangerous man when he gets running, but he's been blown up for too many steps on this occasion. And it's going to be a free out to Patrickswell, Matt. But Garryspillane have settled down further into the game. A few changes on their team, as you mentioned, with Dylan O'Shea coming out from centre forward. They needed them a couple of scores, and Dylan O'Shea's last one looks to have settled them.
Yeah, they look a bit more settled now, and they certainly looked more competent. And Mark Quinlan is thundering into the game in the last couple of minutes. He has been very effective, and we saw that great run of his there a while ago. So look, it's building up to being what we expected it would be. A right good game, and it's not quite there yet, but it's getting there.
It is. It's going to be a sideline ball here, the near side, Mackey's stand side of the Gaelic grounds for Patrickswell. It's going to be Calvin Carroll who's looking to take it. Eventually it's Jason Gallan who's come all the way over to this near side from his right wing forward position on the far side here in the Gaelic grounds. And it's Gallan now about 8 or 9 metres inside the Garryspillane 45 metre line. There's no question he's capable of putting this one over. It's a fine cut of a sideline ball. And it's Gallan now looking to get his third point of the game. It's a beautiful cut from Gallan. Certainly had the distance, but it's tailed to the right and wide. Chance, but man, he showed with that strike alone, he's capable of getting it. So it's another worry for Garryspillane. Can't even give away sideline cuts.
Yeah, it looks as if it's another string in Patrickswell's bow, because that wasn't very far off the mark now, and all sidelines by nature are from an awkward angle, but that was from a particularly acute angle.
Lovely ball across from Owen O'Mahony, but the Patrickswell this Heavy in goals for the Limerick Miners this year. He's shown he's just as adept out the field with that fantastic score. Great take initially, went off on the run. And with consummate he's tapped that one over the bar. It's 1-2 to 4 points in Patrickswell's favour of nearly 13 minutes played of this Premier Minor Hurling Championship final, brought to you live on sportinglimerick.com as Paul Buston launches play again down that far end with a puck out. Looked to be a Patrickswell ball, but he's gone over the sideline, the man in possession there, and it's going to be Garryspillane's sideline cut. It's going to be Brian Heavy to take. It was Keenan O'Gorman on that occasion who went over the far sidelines. Brian Heavy that will take the sideline cut and restart play for Garryspillane. Heavy now looking for a fine cut, and it is a good one, straight down the middle. It's going to be neither side coming out the ball. Indeed, in the end, it's Cian Enright who comes out with it for Patrickswell. He's hooked, but pulls first time on the ground. It falls to Josh Considine. Good low ball and well played by Considine to win that one. Considine has to look backwards after losing possession. Look for Jason Glenn. It's going to be a free to Josh Considine. Referee John Paul Kiley seeing a foul on Josh Considine on that occasion. It's going to be another chance for Patrickswell, Matt, to make it 1-3 to 4 points.
Yeah, and is it Calvin Carroll is going over to take this free, I think? It looks as if it is Calvin Carroll, who's been quiet so far, but if the scoreboard is correct, the sides are level, but we make it 1-2 to 4 points. But one way or the other, it's 4 scores to 3 in favour of Garryspillane, which means they have settled and they have come right back into it. And there's no doubt about that one anyway.
No doubt whatsoever, as Calvin Carroll, as we have it, puts Patrickswell 1-3 to 4 points ahead here, as John Paul Kiley has a word or two for Patrick Kirby and his marker Robert Sampson. No card for either player, but we've 14 and a half minutes played, and we have it as Patrickswell leading 1-3 to 4 points, as Adam Sheehan looks to restart play here with a Garryspillane puck out. A lot of players grouping down in front of us, and it's heading towards them. It's going to be an easy catch for Shane Hanrahan. Hanrahan now, can he deliver? Half hooked, he's looking for Callum Sheehan. Goes straight in front of Cian Enright down. Enright clears. It's a poor enough ball from Enright down. Should be easy enough for Brian Heavy. Serious height advantage over Cian O'Gorman. It's Heavy who collects and launches a long high ball into the Garryspillane half forward line, full forward line area. There isn't too many inside the 21 metre line from a Garryspillane point of view. Neither team able to get the ball up. Indeed, in the end, it's Patrickswell that tried to come away, but they can't. And it's just a bit of sloppy play here on this occasion. John Paul Kiley calls a halt to it. It's going to be a throw-in ball. Neither side able to gain possession on that occasion. And John Paul Kiley is going to settle things with a throw-in ball. He's calling a couple of. He's calling Callum Sheehan and Adam Carrick over. Just a quiet word between them. It's going to be a ball in. It's Carrick and Dylan O'Shea going for it again. Neither side can earn possession, get possession into the hand. That's Patrickswell coming away with it in the end. Chance to clear now. It's a good run from it's Adam Carrick coming up from full back. It's Carrick getting the shot away, and Matt, that's gone over the bar, and that's going to be a stunning score from Carrick. A period of sloppy play. Carrick had enough of it, took the ball into his hand, beat a couple of Garryspillane players and delivered a fantastic shot.
And a fantastic shot and a fantastic point, but a fantastic offload in the first place to spot Adam Carrick coming through. And when he saw the opportunity, he just got past two Garryspillane defenders and it opened up in front of him and he took his point. An excellent score.
Mark Quinlan now in possession for Garryspillane. Quinlan under pressure is forced to give to Micheál O'Donnell, who launches it long. Garryspillane's game plan seems to be try and find Callum Sheehan as much as possible. There's going to be a free in here, maybe a card. The ball broke over Callum Sheehan's head. Jack O'Reilly was running onto it from a Garryspillane point of view. He was tugged back by Cian Fitzgerald, and he seemed to be through in goals. Patrickswell will line the goal now. It's going to be a free in, another chance. It's Callum Sheehan looking to take this one quickly. Everything will settle down, Matt, you'd imagine. And Dylan O'Shea will tap this one over to reduce the Patrickswell's lead to 2 points once again.
I'd imagine so, but I'm just wondering for a minute. He's going to put it over. I was just wondering for a minute, was the temptation there to go for a goal at this stage? But no, he's happy to tap it over the bar and reduce the margin to 2 points by our count, 1 point by the scoreboard.
We're going to stick with 2 point lead for Patrickswell until we're told otherwise anyway, Matt, as Paul Buston gets ready to restart things here. 17.5 minutes played of this Premier Minor Hurling Championship final, brought to you live on sportinglimerick.com. It's Patrickswell 1-4, Garryspillane 5 points. It's down right on top of Clive Kirby. Kirby is unable to win it though, and it's Garryspillane who get the ball away. It's Dylan O'Shea who won it. Long ball down by Dylan O'Shea, looking for Owen O'Mahony. O'Mahony can't win it, but it's Garryspillane in possession. O'Mahony eventually has it, trying to fashion a shooting chance. He's under good pressure there from Cian Fitzgerald, and it's a low ball in. Patrickswell should come away with it, and it's cleared downfield. It's not the best of clearances. Dylan O'Shea will take it. Poor enough touch from O'Shea on this occasion, and it's Patrickswell who have it through Calvin Carroll. Carroll looks behind, finds his midfield partner John Kirby. Brilliant low ball in from John Kirby, ideal for a corner forward, but it's good marking on that occasion for Robert Sampson. But Patrickswell could have it again. They're not, as Adam Sheehan tries to get it away. It's sloppy defending from Garryspillane. They eventually come away with it, but if they're going to continue that type of defending, they could be in trouble as this first half continues. It's a good run out of defence under pressure. It's a good clearance in the end from Micheál O'Donnell, I think it was on that occasion. It's Garryspillane now. In fact, it was Mark Quinlan, but it's Garryspillane with Owen O'Mahony. O'Mahony, shooting chance for O'Mahony, under pressure from Cian Fitzgerald. The ball's broke to Callum Sheehan. Goal chance for Garryspillane. It's going to be a penalty to Garryspillane here. He's been fouled. Cian Enright is the man who fouled. Penalty for Garryspillane, Matt. It was a miss-hit shot from Owen O'Mahony. It looped over a couple of Patrickswell defenders right into Callum Sheehan's hand. As you flagged before the game, he's the one man from a Patrickswell point of view that you do not want with a ball in his hand around the edge of the square. The foul came. Callum Sheehan's the man fouled. Penalty for Garryspillane.
Yeah, definitely a penalty, no question about it. And it just shows that the danger that Callum Sheehan poses. But in the last 5 minutes or so, we're seeing quite a bit more of Owen O'Mahony. And he has been responsible there now. He's starting to cause trouble for Patrickswell, and when he gets into full flight, he's going for his goal, I'd say.
It's O'Shea, and he's buried it. No question of that. Paul Buston left rooted to the spot. O'Shea went for power and accuracy, and he buried it into the top corner, and that puts Garryspillane, as we have it anyway, up in the commentary box. Garryspillane 1-5, Patrickswell 1-4, and from nowhere, after a very nervy start from last year's champions, they lead by a point. Puck out again from Paul Buston, brilliantly won one-handed on that occasion from Micheál O'Donnell. It's Mark Quinlan now on the run. Quinlan's over carried. Needless one from Quinlan. It's going to be a free to Patrickswell, and just a bit of a momentum change maybe there from Patrickswell's point of view. It's going to be Calvin Carroll to take, but brilliant play from Micheál O'Donnell in the first place to win possession, but Quinlan over carried, and Calvin Carroll They've shown it to deliver the ball high into the Garryspillane full back line. They have a chance. There seems to be trouble in there as Calvin Carroll looks to strike this one. It's a fine strike from Carroll. Launches in and around the square. It goes. The ball's dropping in and around there. Brian Heavy's there from Garryspillane. It's Heavy with possession. Heavy's done brilliantly to win a free. And that's a huge free for Garryspillane to win, Matt.
Yeah, a huge free, and we spoke at the outset about the threat that was posed by the Patrickswell half-forward line of Jason Gillan, Josh Considine and Clive Kirby. You would have to say in the last 10 minutes that Mark Quinlan, who is excellent at centre-back, Brian Heavy and Micheál O'Donnell really have come to grips with him at the moment, and they're getting very little opportunity, getting very little space.
It's Quinlan, as Matt said, on the ball here from O'Donnell. That's a brilliant block down from Josh Considine. Micheál O'Donnell now under pressure, and Patrickswell need their vaunted half-forward line to come into this game and start getting possession. It's Patrick Kirby, lovely pass for Kirby to John Kirby, brilliant block from Heavy, and Quinlan picks up the loose ball. Not the best of clearances. Foster Garryspillane, man, he can't get possession of it, and Calvin Carroll and Josh Considine eventually get it for Patrickswell. Off to Kirby. Clive Kirby has kept it in play. It's a high ball in from Kirby. Pressure in there. It's going to be a free out. It's an interesting decision from John Paul Kiley. It looked from our vantage point in the commentary box that Jason Gillan was being fouled. We've already seen Jason Gillan go from his right half forward position, wander in towards the square as Cormac Kearns moves out. It's worked already. It looked like it could have worked again for Patrickswell. John Paul Kiley disagreed with us, Matt.
He did. John Paul thought otherwise, and he was absolutely emphatic about his decision, because obviously somebody had demurred to it, but he was having none. He seemed to be. He's in a better position. He's at ground level. We're the eye in the sky.
Josh Considine now under pressure to win possession. He's been pushed over. It's a fair enough one. Peter Morrissey, I judged to have pushed Josh Considine over on that stage. It's going to be a free for Patrickswell. Linesman Mikey Brown there, not moving from the spot. Calvin Carroll hasn't any chance of trying to gain an advantage closer to goal. But it's Calvin Carroll to take this one. He's already shown with the last couple of deliveries he has a fair strike of a ball on him. As Matt O'Callaghan mentioned before the game, scored 5 points in Patrickswell, semi-final defeat at the senior championship level against Doon. It's going to be Calvin Carroll now. You'd imagine well within his compass, no breeze to speak of. He's already got 1 point in this game. It's a fine strike from Calvin Carroll again. Looks to be tailing to the right and wide, and in this occasion the strike was good, Matt, but the radar was off.
Yeah, only just slightly off, but it was from a considerable distance, John, and there's a message to Garryspillane in that not to concede fouls. I know that should be the overriding message in all games going in, do not concede frees, but certainly with a free taker that can, that was also close, because bird's eye view of it from here, it was it was literally inches off target. Indeed
it was. Sideline ball here for Garryspillane. It's going to be taken by Dylan O'Shea. 23, nearly 24 minutes played of this Premier Minor Hurling final. It's a low one from O'Shea, but it's a good one. Looking for O'Mahony, brilliantly blocked out by Adam Carrick, and it's John Kirby in possession. Gives it back to Carrick. Carrick can't get hold of it though, and it's Garryspillane going to come away with it, and it's Jack O'Reilly. O'Reilly on the run, brilliantly hooked by Carrick. Falls to O'Mahony though, and O'Mahony makes no mistake. Loose ball came to O'Mahony, as Matt O'Callaghan mentioned just moments ago. O'Mahony over the last 10 minutes or so has been having more of an influence, and Matt, since he's gone into the right corner, he's started to cause an awful lot of problems for Patrickswell.
Yeah, he's a very, very, very strong young man and an excellent footballer, an equally accomplished hurler. We saw what he brought to the Limerick minor team during the summer as a wing back. Like he was certainly one of the standout performers, and you can see once he gets in possession, he's very, very hard to take it off him, and he's very, very hard to stop.
Indeed he is. It's going to be another sideline ball here for Garryspillane. It's Eoin O'Mahony again. It's not as good a strike this time, but number 9 for Garryspillane, Ryan Tobin, we haven't seen a lot of in this game. Limerick minor last year, but in the end it is Garryspillane that come away with it, and it is Ryan Tobin in possession. It's a poor hand pass from Tobin though, and it's an easy enough clearance for Patrickswell. Ball breaks to Patrick Kirby inside there. That's going to be a dangerous one, but Adam Sheehan does very well. It's not Adam Sheehan, of course, it's Kieran Sheehan. Sheehan then lost his hurley, said, I've enough of this, I'm kicking this away, get it away from danger. That's all he cared about, and that's exactly what he did. It's going to be a sideline cut. It's going to be Jason Gillan, who's who has no set position at this stage, is wandering around the Gaelic grounds pitch, looking to pick up pieces wherever way he can. It's going to be Gillane. He's assessing his angles here anyway. Patrickswell mentors on the sideline looking for Josh Considine to make a run. Josh opts not to at this stage. He's been marked on. He was Ryan Tobin keeping an eye on him. Josh Considine then goes on the run. It's a dangerous ball in from Jason Gillane. There's no question it goes all the way in. It's gone to over the end line, but it was a good ball in. The Patrickswell mentors aren't happy, Matt. That was a dangerous ball in. I don't even think Jason Gillane was going for a score there.
No, I think what he tried to do there and did quite successfully was put it into the danger area, and it certainly caused trouble, and it was lucky for Garryspillane the way that it broke and went out wide.
1-6 to 1-5 as we have it in favour of Garryspillane. 26 minutes played here in the Gaelic grounds. As Ryan Tobin, good ball across for Peter Marcy. It's a good catch though from Cian Fitzgerald from Patrickswell, wearing number 2, but out fairly far from there. Chance, it's a shot for Jason Gillane, and Gillane, even though it was a long distance, it was just over the halfway line, or just outside the Garryspillane 65 metre line. Jason Gillane is certainly capable of scoring that, but his radar was off on this occasion.
Yeah, and I think he'll be disappointed with that, because certainly it's 1-6 to 1-4, and we're approaching half time, and obviously they would like to have it level at half time, or indeed being in front. Now we have Josh Considine bearing down on goal.
Considine on the run, it's fouled. It's a needless foul from Michael O'Dwyer. He was going down into the corner, Matt. He'd Patrick Kirby outside, and the pass could have come. He couldn't catch the ball again. Either way, it was a needless enough one from Michael O'Dwyer.
Actually, the defence had the hard work done. And when the foul was committed, because he was heading for the corner actually, and he had little or no chance of cutting inside, because there was a couple of Garryspillane defenders there, and it's a free now, and I think it's Calvin Carroll standing over it, and you'd fancy him to put it over the bar.
You would indeed. It's Calvin Carroll strikes and lifts. That's good from our angle here in the commentary box in the Gaelic grounds, and that's 1-6 to 1-5. A point in it again. 27 and a half minutes played. That's Calvin Carroll's second point of the evening. His second free. As Patrickswell have reduced on our scoreline, we've already mentioned this. We think it's 1-6 to 1-5. The scoreboard here in the Gaelic grounds has otherwise. That's a poor puck out from Adam Sheehan. They went short to Kieran Sheehan. Now it's Cormac Kearns' hand pass, a hospital ball of a hand pass from Cormac Kearns. Garryspillane eventually get the immediate danger away. It's going to be a free. It's a foul by Patrick Kirby on Kieran Sheehan. As Sheehan belted away with the ball along the ground. A lucky escape from Garryspillane that occasion, man. A needless short puck out when they're winning the majority of puck outs down in this half forward line.
Yeah, and you'd have to say that John Paul Kiley is totally consistent, and he's picking up all those kind of little niggly frees. Now some people would say maybe he should let some of them go, but certainly you cannot argue with his consistency. They are fouls, and he's blowing them, and here we have another one.
Pushing it back there on that occasion. It's going to be a free out for Patrickswell. It's going to be Paul Buston coming out of goals to take this one. He's in absolutely no hurry. With 29 minutes played nearly here at the Gaelic grounds. And Buston has Cian Fitzgerald along this near sideline. If he wants to try a short one, he's going to go long. It's a fine strike from Buston on this occasion. Looking for Calvin Carroll. Carroll hands up, but Mark Quinlan is the man who flicked it away from, but Carroll's got it back and into his hand. There's a chance for Calvin Carroll for another point. Should be an easy enough one for Adam Sheehan. He's blocked in the end. Just too slow with the ball there, and Matt, it's a bad couple of minutes for Adam Sheehan in the Garryspillane goals, as sideline official Joe Brown of Mungret St. Paul's tells us there's 1 minute of added time to be played. But a lucky escape for Garryspillane twice in the last couple of minutes when there's been no danger.
No danger. It was a very, very lucky escape, because Adam Sheehan should have moved from in front of his goal, and you will know as a goalkeeper that you don't throw up the ball no matter what space you have and try and hit it in front of your own goal, and that's unfortunately what he did. We have a very good score here now for Garryspillane, and it looks like, was it Shane Hanrahan?
Fantastic run from Hanrahan, and even better finish to put Garryspillane back into a 2-point lead, 1-7 to 1-5. And we're just coming into that added minute of play at the end of the first half of this Premier Minor Hurling Championship final between Garryspillane and Patrickswell, brought live to you on sportinglimerick.com. Josh Considine now looking to win possession for Patrickswell. Considine isn't able to do it, and it's Dylan O'Shea now maybe fashioning a shooting chance for O'Shea. He's certainly got the distance. He's going to drop to the left and wide, though. It's definitely worth one taking on from a player of Dylan O'Shea's calibre anyway, Matt.
Yeah, I may be incorrect, but I think is that Garryspillane's first wide of the game to Patrickswell's 6. So I suppose they can't complain about that, but certainly you would have expected better. Here's Owen O'Mahony now bearing down on goal.
Brilliant dispossession by Owen O'Mahony and Adam Carrick, but Patrickswell have got away with it. So O'Mahony, that has had the shot, it's gone far to the left and wide on this occasion, though, from Garryspillane's point of view. And a chance there, Matt.
I think he rushed his shot a small bit, no doubt about it. He had got past the defender, he had a bit of space, and what it needed was to steady himself up. And as we speak now, Patrickswell on the attack.
Jason Glenn with a fantastic catch, running shot, but referee John Paul Kiley was playing advantage to that. He deemed that Gillan had played that advantage. The shot couldn't match the brilliant catch, and it's another wide. Patrickswell's 7th, and Adam Sheehan now slowing everything down. We've 30 seconds or so to half time. In fact, we don't. It's half time now. Referee John Paul Kiley calls a halt to an entertaining first half, Matt. Garryspillane leading as we have it 1-7 to 1-5. It's tight, but in the last 15 minutes, the second half of the first half, if you want, Garryspillane have been fairly dominant.
Yeah, I think Garryspillane will certainly be the happier of the two sides, because Patrickswell got an absolute tonic of a goal, and a well-worked goal within the first minute, and they just didn't seem to drive on from there. And even though Garryspillane were a bit slow in getting up to the pace of the game, once they got up to the pace of the game, Garryspillane sort of moved through the gears, and whether it's a 2 or a 3 point lead they have at half time, you certainly would have to agree that they're deserving of their lead. And there are no win factors or elements to impact on the game. So Garryspillane will be very, very happy at half time, and we'll go to the referee now at half time, and we'll actually check to make sure what the score actually is. But one way or the other, I think the Garryspillane backroom team will be absolutely delighted with the response from their team. And I suppose it's nothing more than they may have expected. It's their second year in the final, and they've been through it before, and you know about champions. It's very, very hard to dislodge champions at any stage in any competition. But I think they will be the happier of the two dressing rooms, and James O'Keefe and Davy Ryan and their backroom team in there will be saying to them at half time, more of the same. Go out and do it. You've only won the first half. Go out and win the second half, and you'll make back-to-back county champions. But I've no doubt that Patrickswell will have other ideas, and what we expected, and the type of game we expected, and the quality of game that we expected, it's very, very near it. It's very near it. It's a good, entertaining game of minor hurling. No question about that. And it's tight, it's on a knife edge, and it would be a brave man that would call it, but from this remove and at this point, you would have to say that the omens favour Garryspillane. There's a lot to happen in 30 minutes of hurling, John.
Indeed there is. The thoughts of Matt O'Callaghan of the Weekly Observer and Vale Star. We'll be back shortly for the second half, where we think Garryspillane are 2 points up on Patrickswell. We'll have that checked out by the start of the second half. Join us for this Limerick Premier Minor Hurling Final, where Garryspillane lead Patrickswell 1-7 to 1-4 with the mystery score that we thought that Jason Glenn had scored in the 7 minute. It has been waved wide. We've got confirmation from both referee and umpires. So the score is Garryspillane leading by 3 points. Matt, Patrickswell are on a couple of minutes now at this stage. Referee John Paul Kiley blowing his whistle furiously, probably because he's cold, to get Garryspillane back out onto this field. But Matt, it's a 3 point lead for Garryspillane as they come back onto the field, but Patrickswell need to get back into this. It seems, from looking at the way they're lining up in the second half, Josh Considine's gone out to midfield. He's been joined by Patrick Kirby, who was effectively fairly anonymous in that first half at top of the left. Maybe with a talent like his, a little bit wasted. They need to get back into this game quickly, because a 3-point lead in these cold conditions where the ball isn't travelling as far is a big lead.
It is a big lead, and we just confirmed now that it is 3 points. I have been with the referee at half time and the umpire Johnny B, as you say, and we were in very good company, because quite a few people asked me on the way down, was the scoreboard right? So a lot of people made the same mistake, but we have to say from where we were, it looked like a point. We didn't do the follow through, but you're right. Garryspillane or Patrickswell, they have made the change. They have beefed up midfield, and Patrick Kirby, from what we saw during the summer, looks to be happier playing at midfield, because Limerick persisted with him at midfield throughout the entire campaign practically, and there's much good in having him in corner forward if there isn't a supply going in there. This is a great break and a fantastic point for Garryspillane by...
It's Patrickswell to the point, and it's Cormac Kearns who has got that initially good play from Patrick Kirby, as Matt was talking there. Kirby picked up the loose ball, went off and around, gave it to Kearns, and Kearns skied through the middle of the Garryspillane defence. Maybe a chance of a goal. He decided to tap it over the bar. Either way, it's a 2-point lead, and that's a fine catch by Ryan Tobin on the far side for Garryspillane. It's Tobin with the shot. It's a fairly decent strike from that side from Tobin. It's come out to met by Paul Buston. He decided against catching. He flicked it away from danger instead, and Patrickswell have the ball now, looking to clear. It's half blocked, and it's going to fall for Owen O'Mahony, who already has 1 point to his name. This should be 2. O'Mahony goes for a goal. Fantastic save from Paul Buston. A low shot, a very difficult one. Buston brilliantly read it. Dived to his right. A fantastic save, Matt.
Fantastic save, but a fantastic shot, John, and really hit the ground at a very, very difficult position for a goalkeeper. Absolutely fantastic bit of goalkeeping by the goalkeeper. But Owen O'Mahony, he literally cut through. He the power that we spoke about before half time. He just showed it. As minors go, this guy is a very, very, very strong young man, and he just showed it there, and he showed how athletic he is, and his execution of his shot was perfect, but it was absolutely a fantastic save by Patrick Buston.
2 good plays in the space of a minute from Paul Buston. He initially flicked the ball away from danger and then followed that up with a truly stunning save as Dylan O'Shea lines up this 65. It's a good strike from Dylan O'Shea, but that has gone to the white and right. We're sure of this one, and that just shows the vital nature of that save from Paul Buston. It could be a huge turning point and a huge moment for Patrickswell.
It could be a huge moment for Patrickswell, because this game, there is 2 points in it. This game is going to be decided, John, by very small and very fine margins. We have seen what's between these sides when they have met twice already. There is very, very little between them out there so far this evening, and this game will go right down to the wire, and that could be it could be an absolute huge, and as you said, John, it could be a turning point.
Long ball on both sides, clearance on that occasion from Kieran Sheehan from Garryspillane, but it's Patrickswell in possession now. It's Gavin Carey with it. He's lost the ball and eventually comes up for Garryspillane, and that's Peter Morrissey. Morrissey on the charge, manages to give the ball out to Ryan Tobin. Tobin coming back onto his right hand side. He's still on the run. Tobin beating a couple of Patrickswell defenders, beats another one. Referee John Paul Kiley was playing advantage. A superb run from Ryan Tobin on that occasion, and that's going to be another chance for Dylan O'Shea, and he's going to tap that one over, Matt, and that should restore Garryspillane's 3-point lead.
Yeah, I can see no way that Dylan O'Shea will miss this one. It's straight in front of the goal. It's slightly more than 20 metres out. Ryan Tobin has been prominent in the 4 or 5 minutes we have in the second half. Ryan Tobin is one of the 4 players that TJ Ryan took a leap of faith with this year, when he put himself, Mark Quinlan, Callum Sheehan and Dylan O'Shea, when he promoted them to the intermediate team and stuck with them. Well, maybe Callum Sheehan for the last 3 games, but the other 3 he stuck with them throughout the campaign, and you know, Ryan Tobin had an effective season at intermediate level.
And Dylan O'Shea did absolutely manage to convert that free fairly easily. Back with play, it's going to be another free for Garryspillane, a foul by Cormac Kearns, and it was on the aforementioned Tobin again. Tobin having a growing influence in this game as time goes on. 34 minutes played, 4 minutes of the second half. It's a long range one from Dylan O'Shea, just a few metres out from his own 65 metre line. He missed the last one, the last attempt from the Patrickswell 65 metre line. It's going to be a stretch maybe for O'Shea, but he's confident of taking it. It's a fine strike from Dylan O'Shea. This one looks to be straight over the black spot. It was a difficult effort, but Matt, that's a fantastic strike from Dylan O'Shea, and that puts Garryspillane into a 4-point lead.
4-point lead, and that's the first bit of daylight that has come between these sides, and that free came exactly from the halfway line. Now to straight in front of it, but it just shows the distance that Dylan O'Shea can get in these frees. So the challenge is now really laid down to Patrickswell to respond, just as it was laid down with the early goal to Garryspillane. And John, statistics don't lie. We don't like referring to them, but there's 35 minutes gone in the game, and Patrickswell have only scored 5 points since that very first minute.
Indeed, they've had 7 or 8 wides on top of that, as Matt suggests. It's going to be another chance, though, to put a goal between the teams. 3 points between the teams as Calvin Carroll lines up this free about 10-15 metres in from the far sideline here in the Gaelic grounds. They trail by 4 points to Garryspillane in this Premier Minor Hurling Championship final, brought to you live on sportinglimerick.com as Carroll lifts this one. It's a high one from Calvin Carroll. The strike is fairly decent, but it's gone to the right and wide, and that's a huge opportunity missed. It was a tricky enough angle, but Matt, it's one that Calvin Carroll himself will certainly feel he should have done better with.
Yeah, and one we would have expected him from what we saw in the first half. And there's no doubting the importance of that. Now that Garryspillane had gone 4 points ahead for the first time, this was an opportunity to bring him back within one score immediately. It didn't happen for Patrickswell. They may regret that one.
This is Paul Buston picks up the loose ball. Clearance is straight down on top of Ryan Tobin. Tobin, quick delivery in, under pressure from Patrick Kirby, who stayed down now as Patrick Kirby, as Patrickswell tried to come away with this one, but Garryspillane under fierce pressure there, trying to keep the ball in with Shane Hanrahan, but as Patrickswell eventually get a clearance. It's actually Jason Gallan that's down in front of us, right in front of us here in the commentary box in the Gaelic round. It's going to be a Garryspillane sideline cut. But Matt, serious pressure put on, and to be fair, it's been a noticeable throughout the game, throughout the 36 and a half minutes, that Garryspillane have been putting the Patrickswell full back line. Every time they've tried to clear, it's been under severe amount of pressure.
Yeah. Absolutely, they're pressing forward in them, and they're causing them. They're making him really work to get it out from that full back line, and you suspect that sooner or later it may pay off, maybe in the shape, because were Garryspillane to get a goal at this stage, it certainly would make it a very long road back for Patrickswell. Now, I think it was Patrick Kirby was down, was it? I thought it was.
Kirby, yeah.
It's hard to see from.
It's Patrick Kirby, all right. Our cameraman Jack Neville is telling us. Must as well, while we're here, Matt, wish our fellow Sporting Limerick colleague Valerie Wheeler a happy birthday. A Halloween birthday for Valerie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We wish Val the very best today, and wherever she's, I hope viewing what we're streaming this evening, or wherever she is. I met her uncle downstairs actually when I was down at half time, and I have no doubt Val is enjoying herself as only Val can do.
Yes, indeed, and it's Patrick Kirby that's the man who's down. I was initially right. I thought it may have been Jason Glenn, but it's Patrick Kirby that's down. It's going to be Dylan O'Shea to take this sideline cut. O'Shea, it's a fairly good cut. That's a dangerous ball in and around the square. It's blocked away from Patrickswell, and it's away comes Josh Considine with the ball under severe pressure once more. This time it's Callum Sheehan chasing him, but Josh Considine manages to get the ball away. It's a decent ball down to the forwards, and Mark Quinlan has done brilliantly to cut that ball out, but Cormac Kearns has kicked it ahead for Patrickswell, and Kearns on the run now, gets the ball in his hand. Referee John Paul Kiley has adjudged he was fouled. This time it's by Robert Sampson, Matt, and just a little bit of good play from Josh Considine, but Cormac Kearns worked his backside off to win that free for Patrickswell.
He did, and no doubt about it, it was a free, and John Paul Kiley rightly picked it up, but it's a difficult enough angle now for Calvin Carroll. It's a quick opportunity after missing out on the one from the other side to redeem himself. It's a difficult angle now. It's not a gimme, this one. It is. He's crouching over it now, and we just follow it, and Yes, no doubt about it. Well taken free by Calvin Carroll, and a good response to missing the target the last time.
Fine effort there from Calvin Carroll. Point of this evening's game. It's Garryspillane leading 1-9 to 1-6. Puck out there from Adam Sheehan. It's a fantastic catch from Ryan Tobin. Can his shot match? It can't. He had to have a go after that fantastic catch right around the middle of the park, but a tail to the left and wide. And Patrickswell will restart play now with Paul Buston's puck out. 3-point the difference here with 10 minutes of the second half played. It's going to be Paul Buston. Long ball down in front. It's a fine strike from Buston, looking for Jason Gallan. It's over Jason Gallan and Brian Heavey. It's Heavey that gets back to collect it, and Heavey now with a bit of space. We'll expect to put a good one on this, but a brilliant block by Josh Collins. It just took too much out of it, and Considine is on the run now. He'll certainly be looking for goal. Well, Josh Considine, he's fouled by Adam Sheehan. Patrickswell still may go for the goal. It's just outside the 14-metre line, so it won't be a penalty. But Matt, it'll certainly be a card for Kieran Sheehan, and one that he can have absolutely no arguments with.
No, it's definitely going to be a card. But the referee is going in. He's consulting with his umpires. I think it's only just to affirm what he thinks he saw. It's a close-in free. Will there be a temptation on the part of Patrickswell to go for a goal? Perhaps. I think the wiser course would be to send it over the bar, but there's a bit of book work to be done here now, and it's actually Brian Heavey. Yeah, it's Brian Heavey is the man that he's speaking with. There's definitely a card, definitely bookwork, and it's a yellow card. Yeah, and I think the decision is correct. If I think red would in that situation. I don't think it was in John Paul's mind, to be honest. But it would be extremely harsh.
It's Calvin Carroll, makes no mistake from the close range free. 2 points in it again, and Patrickswell with the last couple of points here to reduce Garryspillane's lead to 2 points. 1-9 to 1-7 with 41.5 minutes played of this Premier Minor Hurling Championship final here at the Gaelic Grounds, brought to you live on sportinglimerick.com. As Adam Sheehan restarts play with a long puck out over again to this near side. It's Brian Heavey going up to it. It's a fine catch from Heavey, making up for that yellow card he just picked up. Lays the ball off to Owen O'Mahony. O'Mahony with a fine strike, long high ball in, looking for Callum Sheehan. Well defended though on that occasion by Shane Hannon, and Patrickswell come away with it. And it's Keith Fitzgerald looking for Josh Considine. It's not the best of clearances from Fitzgerald though, and it's Ryan Tobin who picks play up. It's Tobin with the shot, and that's over the bar from Ryan Tobin. A fine effort from Ryan Tobin. Restores Garryspillane's lead to 3, Matt. And Matt, you hailed it in the early stages of this half that Ryan Tobin's have a growing influence. He's on a fairly talented hurler in Josh Considine, but Tobin is certainly coming out on top of that battle at this stage.
He is, and the amount of work he has put through in the 12 odd minutes of this second half has been phenomenal. He's been on the ball so much. He's on it again, and his use of the ball is good as well. And that was an excellent score that just embellished his performance of the first 12 minutes of the second half.
Mark Quinlan with the ball in, but it's very well done and well won by Patrick Kirby on that stage from Patrickswell's point of view. Beat Peter O'Dwyer to that ball. It's a long ball in, but Garryspillane are there in numbers. Michael O'Dwyer, and eventually half cleared by Michael O'Donnell. And it's Garryspillane coming away again. It's Owen O'Mahony on the run. O'Mahony's already shown what he can do on several occasions in this game, but again, like his last couple of efforts, they've tailed right or left, Matt. And at this stage, Garryspillane are still comfortable with a 3-point lead, but they've been less economical in this second half, and these missed chances could come to haunt them as the game goes on.
Yeah, and Owen O'Mahony will be disappointed with that one, because it certainly was a good chance, and it opened up in front of him, and you just wonder, could he have taken it on another bit? But obviously he went for the point, and again the radar and the execution left him down. Brilliant
catch there from Mark Enright, and then simply lays the ball off to Patrick Kirby. Kirby with a long one down the field. It's batted away by one of the Garryspillane defenders there. I think it was Michael O'Dwyer. It's gone out over the sideline, and linesman Paddy Lyons is saying he's not sure who got the final touch. It's going to be a thrown ball. And John Paul Kiley brings the ball in. It's going to be Jason Gillan looking to win it. There's a Patrickswell man down in back play, down in their defence. Down with cramp as Ryan Tobin comes away. Very well hooked by Clive Kirby, but Tobin gets possession again and delivers straight down to Shane Hannon though. And Shane Hannon has playing advantage, I think, John Paul Kyle. No free has been given as of yet, but Patrick Kirby has the ball for Patrickswell. And Kirby now, under pressure from two Garryspillane men, gets the clearance away, and it's Clive Kirby in possession now. Kirby met by Mark Quillen. Quillen did enough to put him off. And it's Ryan Tobin in possession, and Tobin having a stunning second half, as we've already mentioned here. Leaves the ball off to Dylan O'Shea. It's O'Shea with a shooting chance, and it's an effort from O'Shea. Looks to be tailing to the left and wide, and again it's another missed chance from Garryspillane, from a Garryspillane point of view, as Cian Enright goes down injured again. Still looks to be suffering from cramp. This time Patrickswell's mentors and medical team are able to get onto him to give him some attention. But Matt, another missed chance. This time it's Dylan O'Shea. It's another wide for Garryspillane, and at this stage they're really starting to rack up.
Yeah, that's their fourth wide of the second half, which is twice as many as they had in the entire first half. They will be very, very disappointed with their return. But again, it was the good work of Ryan Tobin. And he's on the ball again, actually, unbelievably. He has hit so much ball in the second half, and it was a perfect layoff to Dylan O'Shea on his part on that occasion. And Dylan would have really fancied himself all day in that type of situation, but it just didn't happen for him. And is it a free into Garryspillane?
Indeed it is. It's a foul on Peter O'Dwyer. It's going to be another chance for Dylan O'Shea to put Garryspillane into a 4-point lead for the second time in this game. 16 minutes of the second half played here in the Gaelic grounds in this Premier Minor Hurling Championship final, brought to you live on SportingLimerick.com. It's Dylan O'Shea looking for another score, as Garryspillane, of course, looking to retain the title they won last year. Patrickswell haven't won one at this level since 2008. Either way, it's Dylan O'Shea lining this one up, the Garryspillane captain. It's a fine strike from O'Shea. The accuracy is there in this occasion, and that's 111 to 1-7 now. Garryspillane into a 4-point lead.
Yeah, and he would be relieved to see that one going over, because we're up to the 47th minute. So, like, it's calling for a fairly quick response from Patrickswell now, and there is practically no. And
there was a high ball in, an attempted shot from Josh Considine. Adam Sheehan had all the time in the world to try and catch that. He was eye on it the whole time. At the last moment he decided to block it out. Lucky escape, because Cian O'Gorman was flying in. That's going to be Cian O'Gorman's last action of this game, as he comes off for Morgan Higgins wearing number 17. It was a goal chance for Cian O'Gorman, Matt, and it was a goal chance that Patrickswell could have done with scoring at this stage.
Yeah, actually, and it was sloppy defending on the part of Garryspillane, because they could have paid the price there, because the goal opened for Cian O'Gorman, and he had an opportunity, and like it would have been a 1-point game, and they've obviously made a change now and sent in Morgan Higgins, and this is Patrick Kirby again.
It's Kirby. It's a poor enough ball, and Mark Quillen is there to. As Mark Quillen gets it at the second attempt, in fact. It was Robert Sampson who won the initial ball, but either way, away come Garryspillane with Micheál O'Donnell's long ball in. It's breaking. It's going to break though to Paul Buston. You'd imagine, and Buston has time to clear, as clearance isn't the best, and Ryan Tobin for once controls the ball, and it's John Kirby looking to win possession for Patrickswell. Eventually it will come to a Patrickswell man, and it is Kirby who plays it straight down the middle, straight down the line I should say, looking for Calvin Carroll, but Garryspillane are there in numbers once again. That's a lovely low ball across, and it's Owen O'Mahony. Lovely low ball. O'Mahony takes it up, gives it to Dylan O'Shea, and O'Shea is chased down by Jason Gillan. O'Shea gets the shot away, and I guess time it's over the bar. That's 2 in a row from O'Shea, and crucially for Garryspillane, with 48.5 minutes played, they go into a 5-point lead, Matt. And at this stage, with 11.5 minutes left of this game, it's Garryspillane that are very much in the ascendancy.
Yeah, and they're 5 points clear, and like the execution, apart from the execution, the build up to that was absolutely excellent. It was Mark Quinlan out on his right side, diagonally across the field to Owen O'Mahony, who spotted Dylan O'Shea on the run, laid it off, timed the layoff to perfection, and Dylan O'Shea made no mistake.
Run there down the far side again for Garryspillane. It's Peter Dwyer who tried to get a shot away. He was under severe pressure from one of the Patrickswell defenders on that occasion, and he was half hooked and the ball trickled out harmlessly wide as Jason Glan wins this puck out. It's gone out over the sideline. In fact, it's going to be a free to Patrickswell. Patrick Kirby was unable to gain possession, but plays brought back for a foul on Jason Glan. On this occasion it was Dylan O'Shea, the Garryspillane captain, who was the man adjudged to have conceded the free in this occasion. It's going to be Calvin Carroll again, as Garryspillane looking ready to make their first substitution of the game. It looks to be Joseph Johnston, who's going to wear number 17, about to enter the fray here at the Gaelic grounds, as Carroll lines this one up. It's another fine strike from Calvin Carroll. That's a fantastic free, straight over the black spot at the city end here in the Gaelic grounds. A fine score as Joseph Johnston gets ready to come on. It's going to be Peter O'Dwyer who comes on, but it's 4 points. It's Peter O'Dwyer coming off, I should say, for Garryspillane, to be replaced by Joseph Johnston, and it's a 4-point lead now. 10 minutes remaining. Garryspillane 112 to 1-8 as Adam Sheehan readies himself to restart the contest here with this puck out. Sheehan's going to go to the far side with it. It's a decent strike, but Josh Considine is there, and it's Considine who wins it. Fairly unopposed there, and Considine's off and run. He's been chased by Micheál O'Donnell, but it's Considine. Gives a great ball across for Jason Glan. Glan now with a chance. It's Glan's strike. It's not Jason's best one, it has to be said, and it's gone to the right and wide. And Matt, it has to be said, it's been an off-colour performance from Jason Glan. He hasn't been on the freeze. You'd wonder maybe, is that due to an injury, because he takes the freeze at pretty much every level he usually plays at. Calvin Carroll has done fairly well, but Jason hasn't been, his radar has not been what we'd expect of him tonight.
No, and that was an opportunity certainly for him, and it just didn't come off for him. And but you have to say that they're only 4 points up, but as it is at the moment, Garryspillane appear to be comfortable. If you can be comfortable with a 4-point lead, which of course, as you know, you can't, but they look that they're in control to a certain degree, because apart from the opportunity that fell there a while ago, in terms of goal scoring chances, I don't think Patrickswell are worrying the defence that much. Mark Quinlan is having a huge game at centre back, which is massive for Garryspillane, and of course we spoke about the amount of work that Ryan Tobin has put in. He's had a phenomenal second half so far.
Shooting chance now for Patrick Kirby. Decides under pressure from Mark Quinlan to take it on further. In the end, he was cut out by Quinlan and Kieran Sheehan, but Sheehan is unable to keep the ball in play. It's going to be another sideline cut for Patrickswell, and this time is it going to be Patrick Kirby to take this one? It is. And it's going to be Kirby now looking to deliver this one around the edge of the square, you'd imagine. Maybe a bit long. It's a good ball from Kirby. It's a Garryspillane hurley that got it to it, and off comes Adam Sheehan off his line. Under pressure now is Adam Sheehan. Looks to be running down a blind end, and he's lost the ball. Josh Considine looking to win it for Patrickswell, and you just think that Patrickswell may need a mistake to get back into this game, but it's Brian Heavey who does brilliantly to come away with it and clear for Garryspillane now a chance. And it's Shane Hanrahan on the run, and it's a poor strike, a wild strike from Cian Enright. It's going to be a free in for Patrickswell, or for Garryspillane I should say. Needless at one from Cian Enright, and you'd imagine Matt O'Callaghan that he may see a card on this occasion.
Yeah, I think the referee is going to call him over. Apart from he's checking with his linesman again.
I think he's just making sure he's the right man.
He's making absolutely certain that he has the right man. A needless free, a free that's given away at a time when we're into the last 7 minutes of the game. His team are showing signs of a mini revival, and this gives Garryspillane an opportunity. It's nailed on that Dylan O'Shea will punish this one and put it over the bar.
It's O'Shea with the strike, and as Matt O'Callaghan said, it's nailed on, and indeed it is. It's a 5-point lead for Garryspillane now. They lead Patrickswell with nearly just over 6 minutes of ordinary time left. It is Premier Minor Hurling Championship Final, brought to you live on SportingLimerick.com. Just as we were talking there, indeed, Cian Enright was shown a yellow card for that, as Ono Mahoney right in front of us here in the commentary box is blown up for charging with the ball. It's going to be another free for Patrickswell from through Calvin Carroll. And Carroll now, maybe even with 6, as we just said, 6 minutes of ordinary time left, you'd imagine he'll try and drop this one over, but won't be too disappointed if it drops around the square either, you'd think. It's Carroll. It's another fine strike. It's a high one. Looks to be fairly good from Hurling. That's another fantastic free from Calvin Carroll. And Matt, just a quick one on his technique from these long range ones. He put the last 2 over. It looks effortless from Calvin Carroll.
Yeah, that's what struck me, and we got a bird's eye view of it. He was straight underneath us here. It was an effortless effort that he put it over the bar. He has an absolutely laid back, lovely style, lovely technique, and effective technique, as we have seen. And it's more effective, it seems, with the more difficult they are, the better.
Ryan Tobin again on the ball here for Garryspillane. Tobin on the run. He's got a man outside. He's got a man inside him. It was Shane Hanrahan, his former midfield partner. Hanrahan partnered him in the first half, but unable to take possession, and away come Patrickswell. They're going to get a free. They work the ball away instead as Patrick Kirby. Patrick Kirby inside to the aforementioned Carroll. We've seen him score these before at senior level. That one looks to be to the left and wide. On this occasion, though, it's a wide effort from Calvin Carroll. And Matt, we've mentioned it in the last 5-6 minutes anyway. Patrickswell can't really afford at this stage to be hitting anything off target, as they trail by 4 points with 4.5 minutes of ordinary time remaining.
Yeah, Garryspillane are in a very, very, very strong position. They've just got to, keep their shape, keep doing what they're doing, and you'd have to say that you would fancy them to see out the game at this stage.
Cian Enright lays the ball back. It's a half block clearance, falls to Jason Gallan, does brilliantly to keep that in play. As Gallan, he's going to try one from long range. It's going to drop around the square. There isn't too many players in there from a Patrickswell point of view, and Garryspillane come away with it. It's Kieran Sheehan eventually hand passes the ball out, and away come Garryspillane again. It is indeed Mark Quinlan on the run. Quinlan, fantastic run for Quinlan. The clearance isn't brilliant though, and well won by John Kirby for Patrickswell. Kirby had a free man down there. It was Calvin Carroll, the one player you'd want free. He wasn't able to find him, and away come Garryspillane again. It's Quinlan on it once more for Garryspillane, playing a fine game at centre back. He gives it inside to Joseph Johnston. The Garryspillane stuff. It's a poor ball from Johnson. Adam Carrick does well to intercept. It's Kirby again here. He's a man outside him. Kirby decides to go low. It's a poor swing by Johnson just on the field. A couple of moments. He was initially gave that ball away. Obviously frustrated by that. He let his frustration out, Matt. It's probably going to be a card for Joseph Johnson, but only his second impact in the game.
Second intervention, and it's going to be a card, and it's going to give Calvin Carroll. It's actually within his compass from what we have seen. It is no longer than the last one he hit, and in terms of angle, it's more favourable. So this could make it a 3-point game and make it a very interesting last 3 minutes.
It's another fine high strike from Carroll. It looks to be good, judging by the Garryspillane men on the line. They blocked the ball out. The ball is taken away brilliantly in the end. It was flicked away, dangerous ball, and that's a poor foul, a needless foul to give away by Cormac Kearns. But it's good defending in the end by Garryspillane, and indeed, Matt, it was Robert Sampson who got the initial block was made by one of the players on the line. There was 2 or 3 of them went up for it, but it was Sampson who, as a Patrickswell player, was running in, got the kick away, got the ball immediately out of danger, and Garryspillane maintained their 4-point lead and have a free now to get them out of danger.
They have, and I'm looking at Davy Ryan down below us here, and he's saying, lads, calm it down. They probably know that they are within striking distance. We have Ryan Tobin in action again.
Tobin tries the shot, but he's brilliantly blocked down by Calvin Carroll at this stage, and Calvin Carroll kicks it away. Great battle by himself and Ryan Tobin in the second half, but again it's Quinlan. It's Quinlan again for Garryspillane. Manages to find Peter Morrissey in this occasion. Morrissey taking on a couple of defenders, beats John Kirby inside to Johnston. Johnston, a low ball inside to Callum Sheehan. Sheehan can't catch it at the first time, he eventually rounds man. Sheehan goes for goal. It's gone over the bar. More importantly for Garryspillane, it was on target. Goaler point at this stage. It doesn't really matter, and they're into a 4-point lead, 5-point lead I should say, with a minute and a half left of ordinary time. And Matt, it's clear from that Sheehan hasn't seen a lot of ball in the second half, but He wasn't able to catch it initially, but the second he got it, his hand was turned and it was straight over the bar.
It was a good ball by Joe Johnson, and he deliberately picked out Callum Sheehan, and because he obviously he was on the run, he could have gone for the target himself, but he obviously saw Callum Sheehan inside, and Joe Brown has just put up the board, and it says that there's going to be 3 minutes. So we're effectively into the last 4 minutes. We were free to Garryspillane in their own half-back line. They're 5 points up. I think Dylan O'Shea has gone back to take it.
Indeed he has. It's going to be a long one here from Dylan O'Shea. It's a fine strike from O'Shea. Looks to have the legs. Didn't really have the legs. Kept in play by Garryspillane, corner forward on that occasion. It's going to be a free out for Patrickswell as Garryspillane are lining up their second substitution of this evening's game. With 20 seconds of ordinary time, then another 3 minutes of this Premier Minor Hurling Championship final at the Gaelic grounds, brought to you live on SportingLimerick.com as Patrickswell coming in attack. They know they need goals as Patrick Kirby. He gives it to Clive Kirby. Kirby now on the run. It's a needless foul, well probably a needed foul, a professional foul there by Mark Quillen. He certainly knew what he was doing as Keane McCarthy gets ready to come on for Garryspillane. Their second sub, as we already mentioned. A bit of a shamazel there developing after that free was awarded. Much ado about nothing, Matt O'Callaghan, and you'd have to imagine that Patrickswell will have to try and fashion a goal from this chance.
It will, because we're into the last 3 minutes. We're into time added on. Again, John Paul Kiley is checking with his linesman, and I suppose in fairness, it's only fair to say, John, that John Paul Kiley has had a very, very good game. He has handled the game very well. He's been totally consistent with what he has blown from both sides, and from very early on it was clear what the parameters were, what he would allow and what he wouldn't allow. And I think fair credit to the referee and his officials. They've handled the game very well.
Fine performance from referee John Paul Kiley of Fedamore. It's a yellow card each for Patrick Kirby and Mark Quinlan as Calvin Carroll lines this one up. It's a low one from Calvin Carroll. It's blocked by, I think it's Mark Quinlan, maybe it's not. It's blocked either way out for a 65. In fact, Matt, no surprise to see it was Ryan Tobin getting the block on that. A stunning performance in the second half as Patrickswell will have to drop this one in. They eventually, Cian O'Mahony gets onto the field. It's going to be Jack O'Reilly, the man who comes off the Garryspillane team. It's Calvin Carroll anyway preparing to take this 65. You'd imagine it's not Calvin Carroll, of course, it's Adam Carey. Calvin Carroll has come in, dropped inside to try and pick up a few loose pieces, but it's Carrick anyway. Dangerous ball in from Carrick. It's a good ball in from Carrick. It's dropped and it's flicked away. It's come to Calvin Carroll. He'll go low with the shot. It's a low bouncing one from Carroll, but it's Garryspillane that clear, and it's Dylan O'Shea who's back there, the Garryspillane captain, listed at centre forward, but he's back in his own full back line. That occasion is Peter Marcy wins possession for Garryspillane. 2 minutes of added time played here. It's Marcy's ball in. Ordinarily it would have been a good ball, but there was no member of the Garryspillane full forward line anywhere near possession that occasion. And it's going to be a sideline ball here for Patrickswell, Matt O'Callaghan.
And the unfortunate thing from a Garryspillane point of view and from Peter Morrissey's point of view was that Ryan Tobin, and there we mention Ryan Tobin again, was right on his shoulder, right loose, and he just didn't spot it. But we're into the last minute now, Garrett, and Patrickswell have to throw everything at it. Oh, that's a great, I said a piece of fielding, but look, Garryspillane are bringing it away.
Kieran Sheehan yet again. He initially looked like he caught the ball. He kicked the ball out over the end line. Eventually just threw Josh Considine to the ground. It could be a card for Sheehan, and Garryspillane hit the ball away as well, so John Paul Kiley may be perfectly within his rights to bring that ball closer to goals. Time's up here at the Gaelic grounds. It looks to be Garryspillane have won this Premier Minor Hurling Championship for a second year in a row. Garryspillane now, Patrickswell have a chance here. We've 15 seconds over the 3 minutes, 5 points in it. It's going to be Jason Gallan who's going to go for this one. Patrickswell need a goal, and then they'll need another goal straight after that from the puck out. It's a fine effort from Gallan, beautifully struck shot, but just that little bit high. And there's 4 point lead for Garryspillane now, but time looks to be up. John Paul Kiley is calling for the ball. Matt O'Callaghan. It's another victory for Garryspillane. Joy for Davy Ryan. and James O'Keefe in front of us here in the commentary box, and their backroom team of Brian O'Shea and Dave Dawson, Kitman Pat Doyle and First State Siobhan Ryan, all celebrating here in front of us. What a couple of weeks for the Garryspillane club, Matt O'Callaghan. 2 county titles from hurling. They won the Premier Intermediate against Bruff 2 weeks ago, last Saturday. They followed that up a few days later with the Intermediate Football Championship crown with Galbally. And now yet again here, they've won the Premier Minor Championship for the 2nd year running. I said to you last week about Galbally, what a week it had been. We've to expand it further. What a couple of weeks, and what a year in total it's been for the Garryspillane club.
Absolutely, it has been fantastic. But look, John, and I'm close to the scene out there. It's nothing more than they deserved, because they've got the structures of their club bang on cue, and they've got a very, very vibrant underage structure, well structured underage structure, and this is the second big dividend that they have got out of it. One worry I had about Garryspillane coming down today and coming down tonight, and we mentioned about the key players that were in the Garryspillane team at the start, where that 4 of those players played a full 65, almost 70 minutes in Dungarvan last Sunday. Dylan O'Shea, Ryan Tobin, Callum Sheehan, Mark Quinlan. And I feared somewhat what kind of a toll to take on them, but I suppose we got our answer. We got our answer there this evening in tonight. In that the answer is it didn't, and I suppose there is absolutely no doubt about it. The 2 previous times they drew, I think there is no doubt at all about it, and I think Garryspillane chose the right occasion when to break clear and get the victory. I did tip Garryspillane during the week. I thought that when push came to shove, with the lads that had the regular experience during the summer with playing intermediate hurling, that it would stand to him and that it would probably take him over the line. And I suppose that was borne out particularly with the performance of Ryan Tobin, who was absolutely immense, and I in my view, man of the match.
I was just going to say to you, Matt, we aren't picking a man of the match here, but Ryan Tobin was absolutely everywhere, especially in that second half. He was on Calvin Carroll initially. He saw Calvin Carroll off. Josh Considine was then moved on to him. 2 highly talented Patrickswell senior hurlers, and a big impact at senior hurling this year. He saw Josh Considine off then, and then had an impact. And you mentioned it here, Garryspillane's last act. The game was effectively over at that stage, but Ryan Tobin was in the full back line when the ball came in from Patrickswell, and he was there ready to take the pass if Peter Morrissey had a look up. And an engine, as you said, played the full 70 odd minutes against Clonea last Sunday. And again, he's not the only fantastic Garryspillane player I showed today, but he certainly took it to a different level tonight.
Yeah, but there was one incident there late in the game with about 3 or 4 minutes to go where he was in a tussle with a player, and the Patrickswell player was coming away, but he kept hassling him until the Garryspillane support came and they turned it over. That was the type of performance, and that's sort of some of the unseen work that players put in from time to time. But in terms of prominence, he was everywhere, and he used the ball very well. And certainly the night belongs to Garryspillane, the evening belongs to Garryspillane. They're worthy winners. They're deserving of making it back-to-back successes in the competition. Congratulations, Garryspillane. Hard luck, Patrickswell.
Well, that's it from us here in the Gaelic grounds. It's a